to the very first episode of IXU on Air with your hosts Thornton Fincham and Heinrich Rix. IXU on Air is one of the many ways that the company uses to introduce a new era in the sporting world that pushes the boundaries on and off the pitch. With exciting guests and new episodes every second week, remember to subscribe, exclusively on YouTube. Now over to your host Thornton Fincham.
Oh, what an intro. Thanks for that. Let's dive in. Welcome to IXU on Air, Heinrich.
Thanks, Thornton. It's an exciting venture that we're packing on now. So, really looking forward to it.
This is awesome. What do you think of that opening track? I mean, it's so groovy, eh?
It just puts you in a good mood already, and I think it sets the tone for the rest of the podcast going forward. I mean, it's really just going to, it lightens everything up.
Definitely. Episode 0 is off to a great start. Episode 0, I mean, it's a weird title for a episode, but I think it's just introing everything, and we're fixing our microphone settings. I mean, we can write books about that. But let's get into it. It's so cool to do this. This project is really fun. It's taking what we do and doing a bit of a behind the scenes with ambassadors and whatever. We're going to talk about that now. But just as an intro, what does IXU stand for? Why IXU? It's such a cool logo. I love it, and I love the X. But tell the world outside, what does that mean?
So IXU's got a double meaning. So it's relatively easy. I is me, U is you, and then the X you give meaning to. So if you are my teammate, it means I embrace you, I support you, I'm there for you every step of the way. But if you are my opponent, it means I eliminate you. You are absolutely on the field, even maybe off the field. You are nothing to me. So it's got a double meaning, and you give the X the meaning then at the end of the day. So that's where it comes from. We started back in 2013. Nice. So we've been going about 10 years now, so it's going great, yeah.
We need to have a 10th birthday party with a cake and everything.
We're going to do something bigger than just a birthday cake. So.
Ooh, foreshadowing. I love it. Okay, that's awesome. Thanks for telling me. And I think what new things, I mean, this is a new thing, the podcast, but what other new things is IXU bringing to the cricket world, but then hint, hint, nudge, nudge to the sporting world?
So it's very exciting. I'm actually off to India and to Istanbul tonight.
Nice. Safe travels.
Thanks. We're having not having a go, but we are going to develop a new sports range for general fitness. So we're going mainly into clothing as well now.
Awesome.
I think as many of our followers would know, that's our main cricket partner in terms of, if you don't look at individual ambassadors, is Cricket Namibia. And we've done quite a lot of work and research with them to get the ideal playing kit, but also to have leisure off the field as well. So we're going to take that a step further and offer that to the general public by the end of this year. So there are a lot of things to look forward to.
That is exciting. I mean, having an IXU kit on the field, and then also when you step off of it, also having an IXU kit. I mean, that's very exciting.
Yes, definitely.
You mentioned Cricket Namibia. We're going to have them in a few episodes. I'm looking forward to that very much. But what other big things has IXU done? I mean, that is a big thing. Is there something else that you've done that we might not know of?
So we are a bit of a risk-taker brand. So I'm going to name just a few things that I think in essence describes our journey and where we're going and what we've done in the past 10 years and what's to come. So I think one of the big things that we took on at the start was FOF.
Yeah.
I mean, we started the brand in 2013. Our first signing was FOF, and if you just look at how his career developed from there to where he is today, it's huge.
Yes.
And he's had a massive impact on the brand. He actually co-developed the Enigma range with us at the start. So awesome. He had a massive influence on the brand's identity out there, as well as the color representation. So because at the start of FOF's career, we went for something bold and big, and I think we really pulled it through the past couple of years, and we're really looking forward to, for all the cricket listeners out there, launch a new range with FOF by the end of this year. So it is something to look forward to. It is going to be limited editions, so there won't be a lot available. But then what I think a lot of people might not know too is that we're going into the sports market for general fitness now, but we are already in the market of travel and luggage.
Yeah.
So we are quite a competitive brand out there now as well. So we've taken on quite a lot of risks in the past, and we're definitely going to continue doing that in the future.
That's awesome. I think that's the fun part of it, is that the risk is it's always worth the reward, even if it's just a lesson. And I think it's really cool to see what outcomes you get at the end. The travel range for me is I mean, it's beautiful. It's just the luggage is amazing. So I mean, that if it was a risk, it was well worth it. Yeah. I wasn't here to experience that yet, but I'm sure I'm going to experience some exciting stuff going forward.
Well, we're both heading on trips pretty soon, so I think I'm definitely. I mean, well, I've tested it out quite a lot, but I've already packed my bags last night, so really looking forward to the trip. And I know you're going to Glenwood Eye tomorrow.
Yes.
So really looking forward. Yeah, really looking forward to getting on the plane.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. You mentioned FOF, and I do want to speak about this because it's really cool. We obviously don't just have FOF, and we have a few players that played in the IPL or were in IPL teams, which is really exciting. What do you think of IXU representation in the IPL this year? I mean, it was great. It was cool to see, and they brought some great excitement.
No, they really did. I mean, if you look at FOF, he was he had the orange cap for most of the IPL. I mean, he was in impeccable form. Really, if you look how his batting style developed over the past few years, I mean, he went from a low boundary percentage in scoring his runs to having the most sixes in the IPL. Yeah. So I mean, it's really been an amazing journey to watch FOF improve his game throughout his career, and actually be a part of that. I mean, it's really as an equipment brand, seeing your product out there, on the broadcasting. Yeah. I mean, if you look at TV or live streaming or whatever. But it's really knowing that the brand actually makes an impact out there, and guys like FOF really does it justice. So but that's also where Klaasen comes in, and I think if you look at his career, it's also really taken a big turnaround. He went. I actually saw a tweet that Sachin Tendulkar posted the other day, and it says that he reckons Heinrich Klaasen is one of the best players of spin at the moment. And it's if you look at South African conditions versus the Indian conditions, he really has put a lot of effort into his batting style, especially now at the IPL. It was great to see him score 100.
Yes, that was so exciting.
Yeah, no. So I think if we're looking at the ambassadors, I mean, we've now touched on FOF and Klaasen, but our other nice, very amazing success story is Donovan Ferreira. If you look at his career, about just over a year ago, he didn't have contracts to play any provincial games in South Africa. And fast forward a few months, he had a great season in the SA 20 League.
Yes,
at the CSA T20s prior to that, then at the SA 20 League, and now he was drafted at Rajasthan, the IPL. Unfortunately, didn't get any game time, but I mean, we've spoken to him since he's gotten back, and he says it's a wonderful experience. So it's really good to have these guys out there representing the brand. And I think the one important thing to mention as well is just it's their personalities match the brand. I mean, we are risk-taking brand, so they are risk-taking personalities as well. I mean, if you look at how bold FOF's been playing, and even his fashion sense is out there and bold, and it's really good to have these guys on board.
No, definitely, it was good to see. If you look at the specific stats, 1,178 runs officially scored by IXU gear this IPL. I mean, and that's a lot of runs. Hopefully, Faf gets to keep that orange cap. We'll keep a close eye on the remaining games. But yeah, and so off from the IPL, that was exciting. It was exciting to do the intro. I'm the new guy here, and just to put a softer landing into the whole cricket world. We devised a little game that we're going to play. Every podcast episode, we're going to play a little game with our guests. Obviously, Heinrich and I are co-hosts, so we'll be playing the games in the future. This game is called Is It a Cricket Term? So today's game is called Is It a Cricket Term? Just for context, myself, Thornton, I don't come from a cricket world or cricket background. Heinrich, close to pro, so he knows a few things. So he's going to ask me a few terms, and I have to guess, is it a cricket term or not? And I believe I get a bonus point if I know what it is.
Yes. Okay. So I think if Thornton, he gets 1 point for knowing for getting the term correct, and then a second point, a bonus point, if you can tell us what it means. So this should be exciting.
Oh, yes.
I reckon we'll have a few interesting explanations for some of the terms coming out today. So no, really looking forward to it.
Okay, so let's go. I'm handing over the host responsibilities to you now.
Okay, so the first term we have today is a floater, is the cricket term, and can you give us the definition for it?
Okay. So, no, it's not a cricket term. I don't think so.
Oh. Unfortunately, incorrect. A floater is a cricket term. It is a ball bowled by an off spinner.
Okay.
So, it's like an outswinger for a fast bowler. It floats from right to left in the air and then just continues straight. So, yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that one is.
It sounded more like a golf term. Okay. So far, 0.
Yes. Okay. Next one is left field.
No, it's not, because I know you get on and you get leg side and offside.
Yeah. So you are 100% correct.
Yes. The audience is clapping. Love it.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Next term.
All right.
Third man.
Yes, that's a cricket term.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
Can you tell us where third man is?
Third man, I think. Okay, let's narrow it down.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. The third man is on the offside of the cricket field.
Okay. So, offside, third man. I think third man is if you play forward, not behind you.
Yes.
So, it's there. I'm showing there. I realize it's a podcast. You won't see. But so, third man, I think, is just before the boundary. Very close to the... And it's kind of not directly in front.
Okay,
I'm pointing here. I'm pointing here, so I understand.
No, I've got it. But you might be right in the sense of that it's on the boundary, but 100% incorrect. It's actually exactly where you explained it, just behind you.
Oh,
so it's behind you in the V, or close to the V. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is that one.
Third man. Okay.
Yeah. Then another term, cow's corner.
Yes. Cricket term. I've heard something about cow. Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us where cow corner is? We'll give you another hint.
Leg side or
leg side?
Okay, leg side. Cow's corner. It sounds close to me. So cow's corner, I think, is there's not a silly on leg side, right? The silly point or the silly person is
no. So there is a silly there is a silly man on as well, which is on the leg side. But we're going to give you a countdown.
Okay.
So you've got 5 seconds to guess. Otherwise, your time's going to run out.
Okay. So it's not behind you, but right next to you. I see the head shaking.
Unfortunately,
the buzzer's coming.
The buzzer's going to come now. No. So the The Cow's Corner is on the leg side on the boundary. So just before you, literally, I don't know actually why they call it Cow's Corner, but it's over mid wicket on the leg side. So
it's probably in the history of cricket where there were still cows on the field on the oval.
Most probably. Okay, so our last term for today is RBI.
RBI. I know there's LBW. That's leg before wicket. RBI. No, I'm going to say no. It's not.
Okay, fantastic. You've got that one correct.
Yes.
So no, that is time for the audience.
There we go.
Okay, so RBI is a baseball term. It's runs batted in. Cricket, we don't have that. So well done, Thornton. You've got a few of the terms correctly. Unfortunately, the placements are not completely, but I
think placements on the field. That's going to take me the longest. The other stuff is Googleable, but that is just crazy. There's so many positions.
Yes.
But this was super fun. Thank you for playing with me. I hope I didn't do too bad, and I get to keep this position on the podcast. So let's quickly just finish off. This was a good intro episode 0. I think if we can just excite the audience a little bit. What's coming on the podcast? Do we have merch? Everyone wants merch these days. So are we going to have merch?
So I think this is where it gets very exciting. A lot of people who know IXU would know we've got quite a few ambassadors, and really people that can have an inspiration beyond just cricket. They are personalities that in their own personal lives they've created great brands. So we'll definitely have every single of our ambassadors on the podcast as time goes by. As you mentioned earlier, Cricket Namibia might feature on the next few that's coming up now.
Yeah.
So we're going to have quite a lot of people on here. I think the IXU on Air podcast will be beyond cricket. It's going to be a complete sporting podcast with. It's going to have all the elements in there. So we'll have sport, but we'll also have how Faf and the ambassadors came to be, what shaped their lives, what's helped them in leadership. It's really going to be an out there fun podcast to listen to.
Definitely.
We are going to have merch. I know that you've been planning a giveaway. So I'm pretty sure we'll hear about that a bit later.
Yes.
So there is going to be a giveaway. There will be merch for sale as well. Recently, I think we also mentioned a competition or two.
Yes.
So it would be great to expand the podcast, and the more people we get on board, the more surprises there might be.
Yes, definitely. I think if we get 10,000 subscribers, we'll do a skydive over the Atlantic Ocean or something.
Yeah, that sounds insane. Maybe we should also have that same airplane just write our logo out in the sky. Definitely. Can you imagine how cool that will be?
So that's the big dream. The bit smaller one is the merch that we'll have available. So it will be a few basic items, but you can win merch. We are giving away 5 IXU on air beanies for people who like and share the podcast and tag a few friends in it. So we'll launch an official competition, but if you're listening to this, you get a sneak peek so long and a head start. So if you tag your friends, like and subscribe to the podcast, which will be on YouTube, and listen to the next episodes that are coming up, you could stand a chance. It's winter in South Africa where we're recording this, so I think a beanie would come in handy, definitely. So definitely do that. And thank you so much for listening. Heinrich, thank you for joining me. You'll most of the time be joining me, but thank you for being on the podcast, and I look forward to this journey. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Thornton. I really reckon we'll excite the audience as we go along, because I think as time goes by and the more podcasts we start doing, I think people will start realizing that we're planning to go big with this, and that that they can form part of this journey
yes.
on the podcast. So it would be great.
Awesome. Cheers.
Well, there
Cheers.
you have it. IXU on Air, episode 0, done and dusted. Thanks for listening. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. And we'll catch you on the next episode of IXU on Air. Cheers for now.